1 second. It's new bike day. So welcome to the inaugural ride of my brand new custom built steel beauty. Yeah, no, I'm not going to show it to you right now. I'm not going to show it to you on the ride. I'm saving that goodness for a closer inspection of the bike once we get home. Really just trying it out today. First time really putting some good mileage into a steel bike, so I want to see how that feels. My initial thoughts are... My initial emotions are running high.
Nothing's ever been so good?
Well, a few things have, but when it comes to a bike, it's feeling pretty sweet. I don't want to divulge too much right now because we're only like a quarter of the way into the ride. But oh my God. Tip of the day, take your carbon bike, throw it out, and get a steel bike. More on that to come. How you doing back there?
I'm good. I'm questioning my my layering choices right now, but we'll peel off as we go.
By layering choices, she means life choices.
Life choices? Yeah, the layers of life choices.
Layers of life.
That brought me here.
I just bury those down, 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 layer upon layer.
He's not kidding.
All right, let's get going. Made it back from the inaugural ride on this beauty. Talked about this bike for a few weeks now, and it finally arrived. Arrived on Friday. So what are we looking at here? This is a custom steel bike made by a bike manufacturer out of Toronto, Ontario, established in 1969 by Michael Barry Sr. The name of the company is called Mariposa. This is a Mariposa road bike. That's all it's called, a road bike. They do an all-road bike, they do a gravel bike. I don't think they do a mountain bike, but maybe they do. Almost 100% steel. It does have a carbon fork, which is made by Ritchie. The frame is a combination of Columbus steel as well as Kasai. I think I'm saying that correctly. That is a Japanese steel tubing manufacturer. So why do I have a combination of the two? The Kasai tubing is known as being some of the lightest steel tubing that you can get, and the Columbus is some of the most comfortable steel tubing you can get. So they asked me, what kind of riding do you want to do? I said I want to be comfortable and I want it to be light so I can climb without it being too punitive. So they gave me a combination of the two. I'm not too sure which piece of the puzzle here is Kasai or is Columbus. I don't care. The paint job was my spec. This is kind of like a gunmetal gray. That's what I was going for. And then the custom painted stripes on the fork and the custom painted stripes on the stays. What size is it? Well, I don't think that really comes into the equation because this was custom built to my spec, my body geometry, my physiology. But I would say that it mirrors my number 22 titanium bike, which you've seen in previous vlogs. So I would say it's around a 56. Top tube length 55. I think rough estimate on the seat tube 57 maybe. I measured it all up once I got it home, compared it to the number 22, and it's pretty much bang on. The one difference is the seat post. So here you can see that this one is offset, and my titanium bike has a 0 offset seat post. So a little bit of finagling, had to slam the seat forward a little bit. Let's talk about how I've spec'd it. So I went with a full NV cockpit, stem, handlebars. The headset is, of course, Chris King. Not too sure which custom bike these days doesn't have some component from Chris King on it. The wheels are NV SCS 3.4. They are the same as I have on my number 22. The big difference is that these are tubeless compatible, so I am running tubeless on these currently. The tires are also NV SCS 29s, and they are plush and they are lovely. The bottle cages are also NV carbon. Seat post is NV with the dual clamping. Not a huge fan, but hey, I'll take it. The main Grupo is SRAM red. I chose that because I wanted to cut down on the amount of cabling, the external cabling. This is partially internally routed. As you can see up here, the rear brake is internally housed all the way through the down tube and out the chainstay. And then the front brake, it is not internally routed. It is not routed through the fork at all. It is external routed, but I'm totally cool with that. Pedals, I'm running Asiomas single-sided. I took those off the number 22, so I'm going to flip-flop back and forth until I can save enough money after I've paid off this bad boy to source some new Asiomas. The saddle that they spec'd with this bike is a Physique R3 Argo, and after riding on it today for the first time for a couple of hours, it's quite comfy. It doesn't have the deep channel cutout that I typically like, which I have on my Celia Italia, which is on the TI bike. It does have a brief indentation here to give you some relief, but it's pretty spongy, and I think it looks pretty dope. So yeah, that's basically the bike. All told, I think it took about 10 or 11 weeks to get it from the day I put down the deposit to the day that it showed up at my door. I'll do a video on the ride feel, but as I mentioned earlier, you can really notice the difference when you go from carbon to titanium to steel. It's wow. This is not your grandfather's steel bike. This is truly a thing of beauty. So on that note, I'll wrap up the video for this week. Linda and I are off to do a charity ride tomorrow. That will be the content of next week's video. So hopefully you'll stick around and check that out. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about this. Did I spec it out the way that you would have specced out a bike? Do you own a steel bike? Do you own a modern steel bike? Yeah, let me know. Hey, have a great week. We will regroup next week. Take care.